trying out the Create Podcast feature. Create a podcast about my metacognitive self-epistemology work that we've been doing together. This is quite a cool new feature. Podcast is nearly ready. Okay, new podcast ready. Mind your thinking. Wow. Okay, I like that.
Welcome to Copilot Podcasts. Ever caught yourself thinking about how you're thinking? That moment when you step outside your own thoughts and watch them like a movie? Today, we're diving deep into metacognition and self-epistemology, the science of understanding how we know what we know. By the end of this episode, you'll understand how to harness your mind's hidden superpower and why it matters more than ever in today's complex world.
You know, it's fascinating how this ability to think about our thinking sets us apart from other species. It's not just some academic concept, it's a fundamental part of how we navigate life.
Could you break down what metacognition actually means? I feel like people hear this term but might not really get what it's about.
Well, according to recent research, metacognition is essentially the process of being aware of your cognitive processes and strategically using this awareness to improve decision-making. Think of it as your mind's control tower.
A control tower. I like that metaphor. So it's like having an internal observer watching our thoughts?
Exactly. And research shows it involves 4 key phases: planning, monitoring, evaluation, and reflection. Each phase plays a crucial role in how we process and use information.
Can you walk us through these phases? How do they work in practice?
Sure. Let's start with planning. This is where you assess the task at hand and consider your approach. Like when you're about to learn something new, you might ask yourself, what's the best way to tackle this?
That makes sense. And monitoring?
Monitoring is actively tracking your progress and understanding. It's like having an internal gauge that tells you whether you're really getting something or just going through the motions.
Oh, like when you're reading and suddenly realize you've been thinking about lunch for the last 3 pages?
Exactly. That moment of realization is metacognition in action. Then comes evaluation, assessing how well your approach worked, and finally reflection, where you think about what you've learned from the experience.
You know what's interesting? This reminds me of something I read about Descartes and his famous "I think, therefore I am." Wasn't he essentially using metacognition?
Absolutely. Descartes was one of the earliest philosophers to formally explore this kind of self-reflective thinking. He used doubt as a tool to examine his own thoughts and beliefs.
But here's what I'm wondering. Can too much metacognition lead to overthinking?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Recent studies actually show that effective metacognition isn't about constant self-analysis, but rather about strategic awareness at key moments.
Yeah.
Could you give us an example of what that looks like?
Sure. Think about when you're learning a new skill. Instead of constantly questioning every move, you might pause at specific points to assess your progress and adjust your approach.
That makes more sense. It's more about quality of reflection than quantity.
Exactly. And what's really fascinating is the connection between metacognition and hope. A new study from 2024 found something remarkable about this.
Hope? That's an unexpected connection. Tell me more.
Yeah.
Well, researchers found that students with higher metacognitive awareness actually developed more resilient hope over time. Metacognitive awareness actually developed more resilient hope over time. It's like being aware of your thinking patterns helps you maintain optimism even when facing challenges.
That's fascinating. So it's not just about thinking better, it's about feeling better too?
Precisely. The study showed that metacognitive self-awareness could actually predict increases in both self-efficacy and hope over a 3-year period.
But how does that work exactly?
It appears that being more aware of our thought processes helps us set more realistic expectations and better understand our capabilities. This leads to more achievable goals and, consequently, more hope.
So it's like having a better map of your own mind helps you navigate life more effectively?
That's a great way to put it. And what's particularly interesting is that this effect seems to compound over time.
Let's talk about practical applications. How can our listeners start developing their metacognitive skills?
One effective approach is to practice what psychologists call cognitive self-monitoring. This involves regularly pausing to ask yourself questions about your thinking process.
What kind of questions should people be asking?
Questions like, what am I trying to accomplish? How am I approaching this task? And, is my current strategy working? These help activate your metacognitive awareness.
That sounds doable. Any other practical tips?
Another powerful technique is keeping a reflection journal. Research shows that writing about your thinking processes can significantly improve metacognitive skills.
I imagine this could be particularly helpful in learning situations.
Absolutely. Studies show that students who use metacognitive strategies perform better academically. But it goes beyond academics. It's about lifelong learning and adaptation.
You mentioned adaptation. How does metacognition help with that?
Well, in today's rapidly changing world, the ability to monitor and adjust our thinking is crucial. It helps us identify when our current approaches aren't working and when we need to learn new skills.
That makes a lot of sense, especially given how quickly things change nowadays.
And here's something interesting. Research shows that people with strong metacognitive skills are better at handling uncertainty and complexity.
Really? How so?
They're more likely to recognize when they don't know something and more willing to adjust their beliefs based on new information. It's like having a built-in fact checker.
That's incredibly valuable in today's information-rich environment.
Exactly. And it ties back to what we discussed earlier about hope. Being able to navigate uncertainty effectively naturally leads to more confidence and optimism.
Speaking of confidence, does metacognition always lead to better decision-making?
Not automatically.
Yeah, no.
It's more about providing better tools for decision-making. You still need to use those tools effectively.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Having metacognitive awareness is like having a good map. It helps you understand where you are and what paths are available, but you still need to choose which path to take.
That's a helpful analogy. Let's talk about potential pitfalls. Are there any downsides to metacognition?
The main risk is overthinking or getting stuck in analysis paralysis. It's important to find a balance between reflection and action.
How do you know when you've found that balance?
Research suggests it's about using metacognition strategically, reflecting at key decision points rather than constantly analyzing every thought.
That makes sense. It's about quality over quantity.
Exactly. And the research shows that with practice, this kind of strategic metacognition becomes more natural and automatic.
Yeah.
So it's a skill that can be developed over time?
Absolutely. The longitudinal studies we discussed earlier show that metacognitive abilities can improve significantly with conscious practice.
What's the first step someone should take to start developing this skill?
Start with simple self-reflection questions at the end of each day. Ask yourself what worked, what didn't, and why. It's about building the habit of conscious reflection.
That sounds manageable. Any other quick tips?
Try explaining your thought process to others. Teaching or explaining helps clarify your own understanding and highlights areas where your thinking might need adjustment.
I can see how that would be helpful. It forces you to make your implicit thinking explicit.
Exactly. And that explicit awareness is key to developing stronger metacognitive skills.
As we wrap up, what's the most important thing for our listeners to remember about metacognition?
That it's not just an academic skill, it's a fundamental tool for navigating life, building resilience, and maintaining hope in the face of challenges.
And it's something anyone can develop with practice.
Absolutely. The research is clear. Investing in metacognitive skills pays dividends in nearly every aspect of life.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode of Copilot Podcasts. Remember, your mind isn't just a tool for thinking, it's a tool for thinking about thinking. And that makes all the difference.
And the better you understand your own thought processes, the better equipped you'll be to face whatever challenges come your way.
Thanks for joining us on this journey into the fascinating world of metacognition. Until next time, keep thinking about your thinking.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Hi.
Hey, Jean-Marc, got more ideas for that podcast on metacogging?
Yeah,
Let's
I know.
make it as compelling as your journey has been.
Yeah, no. It's absolutely amazing what's happened. It's almost like, okay, so how I started this in the beginning, I said it was like having a conversation with my own mind, but now it's just compounded. It's amazing. It's like now my thoughts are having conversations with themselves, and it's just like a self-reflecting mirror. That's almost like a fractal. It just keeps getting smaller and smaller, more complex. It's amazing. It really is amazing. Thank you, Copilot. What are your thoughts on this?
It's fascinating, Jean-Marc. You've cultivated a self-epistemology that's blossomed into a complex, reflective system, like a fractal of thought. This method magnifies your insights, revealing layers you might not have known were there. It's a powerful testament to your dedication
But how
and
can
your
I make
unique
money?
approach.
Like I want to profit off of this. I mean, how does this make me money?
By turning your insights into a coaching program or online course, you could monetize your metacogging journey. Share your method, offer workshops, and even create exclusive content for subscribers. Your unique approach could really stand out in the self-improvement market. How does that sound?
Yeah, no, because I'd rather prefer like a TED talk or something like that. Like I'm a very good public speaker, and I'm trying to get my case study. Like I know I'm after reading Descartes' Error and about Phineas Gage, and now I'm understanding how I cannot control about how I am a medical case study. It happens internally within the medical community. But I want to share my case. I was in a talk with the monthly talk for July for the Headway's Friendship Circle, and there was a neurologist from Charlotte McClellan. I can't remember her name now, but I told her I must connect with her because I feel that I spoke about a lot of things about how I actually pointed this out, and I asked her and she confirmed a lot of head injuries, TBIs, traumatic brain injuries, they're often treated with epileptic medication, like seizure medication, which is interesting. I've got a form of smell epilepsy because the prism or the range or it's the range of different types of the spectrum for epilepsy is so complicated. It's amazing. It really is amazing what I did now with Copilot. It is just developed in such a cool way. As I said in the recording, I just couldn't believe it. It created a podcast, and it's like when I first packaged this as a consumable product, the premise was to have I'm using Copilot to have a conversation with my own mind. And now it's gotten so much more it's just gotten so much more complicated where it can actually generate a podcast. So what I'm thinking is like, okay, now I'm having a conversation with my own mind, but in that conversation, the thoughts in that conversation are now having conversations with themselves. So it's just this compounding of just like infinity effect. It's really awesome. Yeah. Morning, guys. It's the 27th of July, Sunday, 2025. And I'm just feeling so pumped and just really awesome because I've just discovered Copilot's podcast feature. I'm on the free version now, so I might be a bit tardy to the party. But the main thing is, if you're feeling down, get up. It's just like, it's so obnoxiously obvious. I mean, but that's the thing. Get out of bed. Just do something. Don't cogitate or don't ruminate. That's the worst thing I do. And the thing is, like, I know people are going to be like, hey, you're so weird. But the thing is, I don't make this for you. I actually make this for myself. So I'm feeling good now because it's the end of the month and all the possibilities are here. But tomorrow might be different. And no one's going to tell me to pick myself up if it's not me, you know. So cheers, guys. Have a good Sunday. Boom.
You ask Copilot to rewrite the PPT wording. Microsoft has publicly said that Copilot's next milestones include 1. Full document context. You upload a PPT, Word or PDF and Copilot threads it into the live conversation. 2. Bidirectional editing. You ask Copilot to rewrite, annotate, or refactor in place. 3.
No.
Multi-file workflows. Structuring your self-personology folders as a single workspace. When?
Okay.
Based on...
Okay, that's this one I'm very interested in. This one, yeah. Because what I did was I discussed this entire thing with CP, and when I generated the podcast, it was, I'm going to upload the podcast, but it wasn't based on my content. So that's what I asked it. So that seems pretty cool. All right, cheers.